Hello and welcome to the 9th installment of the Synapse Misfire podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and we're here with our co-host, Jordan, as usual.
Y'all would be thanking me if you knew what I cut out every episode. Honestly. How's it going, y'all? Hope you're doing good.
Man.
Don't know why I said y'all. Never said that word in my life until just now.
Hey, just a heads up. I've just received intel from our pal Alex. He said that both episode 6 and 7 say it's episode 5 in the description.
In the description?
According to him on Spotify, it says that. And yeah, it does.
In the description.
Episode 5 says, welcome to the 5th installment. Episode 6 says, welcome to the 5th installment. And episode 7 says, welcome to the 6th installment. Alright, anyway. Just as I had mentioned that we had to change some stuff on Spotify, we're on Spotify now. You can look us up, the Synapse Misfire podcast on Spotify. The link will be in the description. As well as our RSS feed if you want to import your RSS feed into whichever your favorite podcasting app may be.
Yeah, that way you can listen to us anytime, anywhere, even while you're taking a shit.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where we're at. That's where we'll be. If you want to contact us, you can email us, synapsemisfire@pm.me.
Yeah. Yeah, and we will be there, and we will reply.
Yeah, and your email will be read on the show.
Yeah, don't forget to mention that. Death threats as well. Please, send us those.
Yes.
We feed off of negative energy.
Yeah, I'm the physical manifestation of hatred.
All right, there you go. That is good to know. I just want to say, Chris, here we are, 9 episodes in. You know, over 2 months in.
9 weeks, baby.
We're doing things.
Yeah, we've had a few, you know, off mic discussions about some future content we might branch into. So look out for that. We got some fun stuff on the horizon.
Oh yeah.
Including crossovers onto my main channel. So this is, you know, some fun stuff in the future. So look out for that.
Yeah, look out for that. I think our next debate upgrade is to get this goddamn dual line audio working. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think the inherent issue is that I'm just a bit retarded, and it's like I just don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to audio equipment in general. Like audio in general, I have no fucking idea. I'm so out of my depth with audio equipment.
Yeah, no, me as well. That's our both of our weak links. So that's the problem.
Yeah, which, you know, you would think we would have one of us who knows about audio equipment if we're doing an audio show.
Nope.
But no,
we're just two dumbasses that hopped into it.
We're two idiots who are like, yeah, mixer works.
Yeah, Chris, funny enough, the way it actually went down was Chris found some like equipment, we discussed it, and then we just split the pay. I had no idea what we were buying. I've honestly learned more about it.
I barely had any idea what we were buying, to be honest.
I had to ask him what XLR was. Like, I don't know, man. We didn't start off too hot.
Yeah, and I still really don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point. But we got some fun stuff on the way, so look out for that. I don't want to say too much.
Absolutely not. But yeah, just look out for that and join us on this ride known as us being retarded.
Being these Synapse Misfire boys doing Synapse Misfire things.
See, a lot of people ask me like, where did the inspiration for the name of the show come from? And
I'm a bit retarded.
Well, yeah, and everyone always thinks like, oh, it's just some random thing, and I'm like, well, no, we have a lot of synapses misfires because we're like, you know, dumb.
Yeah, it's the name I thought of, right? Because when you have a misfire in a car, it's not good. Your cylinder isn't firing right? So if you have, and your synapses, which translate your thoughts, right? If they have a misfire, you're having like a retard moment. It happens.
Yeah.
Have I said the word retard too much on this episode already?
I might have to start beeping them, yeah.
Because I'm gonna say it a few more times.
Okay.
Because I am a retard.
All right. I am Iron Man.
That's one of my things I wanted to get into. How I had I had a bit of a synapse misfire, if you will.
See, look at that, staying on branding. Tell me about it. About it, Chris.
I had I received a message from one of the listeners of our show, on Discord, and he said, "Hey, why don't you just use a fan controller on your server instead of like trying to figure out this big convoluted solution on how to quiet it down? Why don't you just use a fan controller?" I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even consider that. Why, I didn't even consider using a fan controller. They have ones with like potentiometers on them, so you can turn up and down the PWM, the pulses that go to the fans.
So you're telling me, right? Your goal was to control the fans, and you didn't even look for a control
and I didn't
for the
think
fans?
about a fan controller. No, I didn't. Genuinely.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Synapse Misfire.
Yeah.
Right there.
So I was like, so I want to control these fans. What would I do it with? So now, the issue is finding one that'll work fine with it.
Yeah, one that interfaces properly.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest things. Is I'm just an idiot. I didn't even consider a fan controller. So I'm in the process of doing a little more research for things like that.
Hey, at least now you'll learn. Now you'll know. That server, if you build one, will be muchos buenos.
Well, if I can ever finish this fucking server.
Yeah, you'll get there. It takes time, especially when you're a retard.
Yeah, exactly. So any big things that you happened? Any big adventures? Any stories? Any sort of like big happenings? Any sort of things you want to talk about? Any sort of like any sort of events, major events? Something that you might have written down or thought about? Something that you want? Something I can go all day. Something that you want to like tell us, indulge us. Give us the scoop, give us the insider bit. All right, I'm done.
Okay. So funny enough, as I mentioned at the start of the episode, 9 episodes in, 9 weeks, and I never introduced the listeners or you, Chris, to Jerry.
Sorry about that. I was laughing at my own joke.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
So Jerry, who's Jerry?
So on the notes, ladies and gents, I wrote Oscar and Jerry introduction.
So here's the thing. I was thinking about this. I read Oscar and Jerry. Oscar, again, if you don't know, Oscar is Jordan's cat. I thought it was just like a mouse got into his apartment or something, and Oscar was fighting the mouse. I was Jerry, like Tom and Jerry. But apparently there's a different Jerry. Who's Jerry?
Jerry is our guinea pig that we've had for 2 months.
A guinea pig?
Yes.
And you've had it for 2 months? You didn't tell me about it?
I completely forgot.
What the fuck, dude? I thought this was a strong marriage with no secrets.
Yeah, we've had a guinea pig, and Oscar was not the biggest fan at first. But
cats usually don't like small rodents.
Well, yeah, that's true. He's gotten better though, and Oscar loves to punch him in the face. Like, no claws, nothing, just all meat paw right to the nose.
Yeah, cats do that. They do that. They smack you in such a way that won't particularly hurt, but it'll be quite startling.
Yeah. So we introduced them.
Unless they use your claws, and then that fucking.
Then it hurts a lot.
Then they rip your skin open.
Yeah. He didn't really care for Jerry at first, but he's gotten a lot better. Where now, like, we just let him in the room, and they literally will sniff each other. They'll like stick their faces to the cage and sniff
They'll just hang out with each other.
Yeah,
they're like boys now.
Yeah, and then occasionally Oscar will get hyped up because Jerry is like jumping around and like just smack him. And my girlfriend's always like, "Oh, he's gonna hit him," and I'm like, "You have to realize there's no way he's hurting this guinea pig because it'll walk up to the cage, get smacked, like just tapped on the nose by Oscar, and then run right back to the cage." Right back up.
Well, the thing with guinea pigs, and I think it's interesting that you're gonna have to probably continually keep them in contact with Oscar. Because the thing with guinea pigs is you have to have like a companion animal for them, whether it be another guinea pig or something like that, because they get lonely, they'll get depressed. Yeah, you'll have a suicidal guinea pig.
Well, we've already noticed this guinea pig being a little sad, so we're actually looking at getting a second one.
Yeah, I mean they're small.
Yeah.
I would have like little small rodents and shit, but like I have a cat, that's enough, and I don't want to take care of more creatures.
Yeah, my girlfriend takes care of the guinea pig. I'm all about the cat life. That's my pet.
Yeah, you even have a picture of him, you holding him on your wall. Is it a real picture or is it a painting?
It's a real picture.
It's picture. You in front of a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
With
your canvas, boy. Yeah. I also have like 800 photos on my phone, but that's,
I have a couple pictures of my cat Chunk. I don't know, but he's usually never still enough for me to take a picture.
Chris, I wanted to bring something to your attention. I'm moving in the mustard chair right now, and it's not squeaking. I'm kind of scared.
I don't know. Maybe it's. there's a joke here. I'm just trying to phrase it. Maybe it's just moist. You've aroused the chair. You got things lubed up.
Makes sense. Yep.
A fun character in the Synapse Misfire extended universe is the mustard chair. That's the chair that Jordan sits in.
Honestly, I was thinking, I should have brought this up, but this just reminded me. So I eventually want to get this nice banner art made, and I was thinking, it should be us with this ghetto ass setup we have going on. Me in the fucking mustard chair.
In the mustard chair. Me in this broke ass office chair. This office chair with no wheels on it. I was gonna get new wheels for this, by the way, but they're like $35, and I have a bunch of other stuff in my cart on Amazon, and I'm like, I need to get some stuff. It's just like, now the list is like $250. I'm like, I want all of this at once. So,
yeah.
Because I want a set for my chair too, because they're freaking awesome.
You know what you can do if you want to flex on everybody? Get the Apple Mac wheels, the Mac Pro wheels.
Oh, the fucking $600 wheels.
Is it 600 or 400?
I think it's 600.
Wow.
And they don't even lock, by the way.
Yeah, no, they're just straight wheels, but they're made with high quality bearings.
I don't give a shit what they're made out of. They're $600. I'm not gonna buy them.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, the Apple wheels. Yes, they're $700. $699. That's almost as bad as their $1,000 monitor stand.
Yeah, I think. Here's my theory. I'm gonna strap on the tinfoil hat here. Mm-hmm. Here's my theory. They make shit like that to get press.
Yeah, that's That's exactly what it is.
Like the Apple monitor stand, it's not even a good monitor stand, right? It's not even worth $1,000.
Is it VESA? I don't even think it's fucking VESA, dude.
No, they have their own proprietary thing.
Makes sense.
But they have the monitor stand, and they have this as the fluff piece. So now, right, they have their nice display, which is actually not that bad from what I've heard for how much it costs. No, it's a very good
color accurate 4K display. Yeah.
Especially for how much it costs. It's like a $6,000 display, but the ones that it's being compared to are like $8,000 and $10,000 or sometimes $15,000.
Yeah.
So anyway, they have this outstanding display, but they want people to talk about it, so they release this just fucking ridiculous stand for it that's $1,000, and they're like, hey, did you hear about Apple? Did you hear about their $1,000 monitor stand? It gets their name in the news.
And more people honestly know about the stand than the monitor itself.
And same with the wheels. They're like, do you hear about the $700 wheels you can put on your Mac Pro? Because now they think about, oh, it's an accessory for the Mac Pro, or it's an accessory for the Pro display. That gets that name in the news. People think about it. It gets on their minds. So now they're thinking about, like, I want a really fucking high-end computer. I want a high-end computer for, like, music production or something like that. And they're like, oh, a Mac Pro. I just won't get the wheels.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's like, genuinely, like, that's, like, genius marketing. My opinion.
Yeah, it is. That's the problem. That is the problem. Is that
people keep talking about it.
Yeah. Like us. Because we're the shills. We're the idiots.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm not making the same money that, what's the guy? Tim Apple?
Cook.
Tim Cook?
Yeah.
That's what Trump called him, right? Tim Apple?
Is that?
I think Trump called him Tim Apple once. I don't know.
No. That's great.
That's funny. Like a Tim Apple. And then the dead guy.
President Trump calls Apple CEO Tim Cook Tim Apple.
I mean, that's like, I understand that. That's Tim Apple. So, and a fun fact about that, I remember Trump followed that up on Twitter. He said,
Tim, Apple?
He said that in his phone, his contact for Tim Cook is Tim Apple. And that's why he called him Tim Apple.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or his contact is like Tim from Apple or something, which I understand. He's an old man.
Yeah.
It happens. Like, I'm a young man and I do shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like he got really lampooned for that.
Well, honestly, the way I perceived it at first was that there wasn't really a pause, but it almost
it was like a comma.
Tim and Apple kind of.
Yeah.
Like because he was talking about the great changes they've made. He was like, great changes done by you, Tim and Apple. Like that's kind of what I got, but that's funny. Tim Apple.
Anyway, let's not talk about any political figure too much because we'll get fucking shot for that.
That
basically.
whole bit will probably be cut.
I remember I did a video. One of my first videos was about Paul Joseph Watson. He's like a conservative political commentator.
Yeah.
And I just talked about how, like, just completely non-political video. about how I disagree with a lot of his opinions on like music and entertainment and stuff.
Yeah.
And that video got like lampooned. Like people commented, people were mad about it.
Yeah.
Because I just talked about some political commentator. So if we talk about any political figure, we have to like either be tread very, very lightly or cut it out or something.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, it's all about the press. Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
You want to get your name in the paper, and it's like they always say
in the paper. What is it, 1930?
Shut the fuck up. It's like they say no press is bad press.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, you know, I mean, I guess to an extent.
Because it gets your name. Well, obviously, if you're like in the news because you're a rapist, that's not good press. But like,
shit, Chris, you don't have good press? No. Guys, it's like 6:20 and I'm like a boomer, so I'm tired.
I'm tired. It's like I fucking worked all day. I ran up and down the stairs all day. That's all I did for like 6 hours. I ran up and down the stairs.
Sounds right. Sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, Apple. You gotta love some of their shenanigans they get up to. They made some big moves considering they're like, you know, kind of top dog for the most part.
They can do pretty much anything. They're big enough.
Yeah. It's like Zuck and Amazon and all those other motherfucking conglomerates.
Honestly, if I was someone like now I'm thinking of Tim Cook. I almost call him Tim Zuckerberg. If I was someone like Zuck or like Bezos or someone like that, I would just dip, honestly. Like, I would just leave.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I did my thing.
I got my money.
The guy's worth, at least Bezos, he's worth like $200 billion.
Yeah.
Like, I just leave. I just dip. I don't care. I have my money, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
If I was even like 100th as rich as he is, I would just leave. I would just like fuck off somewhere.
Yeah. I mean,
I would just like, I would shell out a lot of money to make a big underground house and just pave over it. So no one has to look at me. No one can look at me. No one can see me, right? And I'm in my big underground house. I don't know where I'm going with this, but like, you ever seen the Indian guys? They like build this big underground house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be like that in the woods.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know where I was going with this, but
I don't know either, man.
So I was talking about my server earlier, the fan controller thing. Turns out, finding server advice online is like surprisingly difficult. Like it's genuinely this morning I was doing some research in my downtime at work, because like I may have exaggerated a little bit. I wasn't running up and down the stairs for 6 hours straight.
No, if you've seen Chris, he was tiptoeing because he ain't very fast. Actually, I gotta tell a story. Did I tell this story in the podcast before?
Which one?
The one with you in the trunk of my car? No.
No, you didn't.
All right.
So we'll tell that one later.
Yeah.
But I had some downtime, so I was doing some research on this, and I have like 15 tabs open still for it.
Okay.
I was looking for good solutions, like the question of like how to quiet down server fans is like yields like no results. So, and now here's the thing, is I'm looking for the size of standard 2U server fans, because that's what I have. I have a 2U server. I need fans that will fit in a 2U server.
Yeah.
And apparently no one agrees on what size they should be, because sometimes they're 80 millimeters, sometimes they're 60, sometimes they're 92, and now I can't find, even though I look up the specific server I have on Supermicro's website, they don't tell me the model number of the fan so I can cross-check the size with different fans. So it's like driving me insane trying to get this project working.
Yeah.
In such a way that will, you know, be beneficial for me.
Yeah.
And now the thing is, I can't find like either, because I have a replacement power supply on the way. It's their SQ model, which stands for super quiet. It's supposed to be a quiet boy.
Okay.
So, and it's like I measured the dimensions and it works in the server.
Okay.
It is apparently 10 millimeters longer than the old power supply, but it's 10 millimeters, you know?
Yeah.
And all the connectors are the same, so it's fine. But now I'm looking for fans and I can't find any fans. I'm looking up like super micro 2U fans because I'm like, well, it's one manufacturer, so it's got to be consistent. But apparently it's not. So now they have 92s, they have 60s, they have 80s. So, it's a pain. And then they have certain ones that are decibel rated. So I'm like, well, I want certain ones that are decibel rated in a certain way because I don't want 90 decibel fans. I don't want 70 decibel fans. I want quiet fans, but ones that will push enough air that, because I have a relatively light load on the server for what it is, So I'm trying to find fans or fan controllers or something that's going to work, and it is driving me insane until I got one lead on something.
Okay. You got a lead?
Apparently, if you use the remote management port on the server, it's called IPMI. If you connect to the server via IPMI, which I initially thought was like, you could get into like if you had a server OS with like a console, like a command line interface. If you connected to it with IPMI, you could get in the command line.
Yeah.
I thought it was like that. But essentially what you can do is you can do some extra stuff, and they have hardware control in that IPMI interface.
Yeah.
So essentially, now I have like 5 tabs of this open too, talking about IPMI, and a specific article on how to decrease super micro IPMI fan threshold. So you have to connect to it via IPMI, and then you can dial back the fan speed.
Okay.
So if I could dial that back to like the minimum,
then
at all times, it'll be a lot quieter. Because when the fans first boot up, there's no fan control, so they're running at full tilt.
Yeah.
And they sound like a leaf blower, but then they die down.
Yeah.
Then they die down, and they're a lot quieter. I mean, they're not quiet, but it goes from like a to like a,
That's gonna be fun to edit.
It sounds, well, maybe if you don't want to keep that in because it was weird, think of like, it goes from like a leaf blower, genuinely like a leaf blower noise level, to like,
Is it like louder than a normal PC fan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even at its minimum.
To like if you have an AC on in the background.
Yeah.
It's something like that, like it's louder than a PC, but it's not like obnoxiously loud. So that's what I've been dealing with. That's what's been driving me pretty much to the brink of insanity.
Okay.
I was like rage posting about it in my Discord. I'll see if I can find some stuff. Oh yeah, I put I am going to shoot myself. Why is there 0 answers to the questions I have? Something to the effect of what I just ranted about. So,
sounds like Chris is he's hit the tipping point. Remember, I think there was 2 episodes ago I had mentioned keep an eye out for his slow shift towards insanity. Here we go. Apparently, it's not as slow as we thought.
This is the full plunge into insanity now. My brain has left the building essentially.
Yeah, right. Might as well have. But the story that I was referencing earlier, it's a pretty good one actually. Yeah, so one time we're at a laser tag facility for a friend's birthday party. It's me, Chris, a couple of our friends.
Like laser tag arcade type beat.
Yeah, it's like a mixture. So we're playing laser tag, having a grand old time, and then when we go to leave, we're screwing around, and I had parked maybe 1,000 feet away from Chris on the other side of the building. So we all go out and we all happen to go to my car.
And at the time you had that big fuck off like Ford Explorer or Expedition. Which one was it? Explorer.
So at the time I had a 2003 Explorer. So I had 5-seater in the front with a 2-seater in the back. So I seated 7 people in that car with a little bit of trunk space. So I had 6 people in the car plus Chris laying down in the trunk, right? And then I drive him to the other side of the building, and I don't know what I expected him to do. I get out of the car, I go behind the car, I look in. He's peeking through the glass. I open the door, and he just full sprints to his car, screaming. And there's people driving by looking as this full grown. Keep in mind, as I said last episode, I'm 5'5". Chris is almost 6'1". There's me opening the trunk of my car, and this 6'1" man just runs.
Just full sprint. Like, it was probably one of the fastest I've gone in a long time.
Yeah.
I full sprinted out of the back of the SUV yelling, "I'm free, I'm free," sprinting to my car, which I mean, I had an even shittier SUV.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
At the time, I still have that SUV. It's just kind of sitting there,
dying slowly.
Yeah.
But that was one of the funniest times in
that's
a while.
One of the good old times. One of the good old days.
One of the good old days. But yeah, that's how I had a freaking, at the time, like, what, 290-pound man running out of my car?
I was pretty hefty, yeah.
Yeah. I had a whole man child running out of my car. It was certainly...
Full sprinting. Like,
certainly funny.
For my size, like...
That was incredibly fast. Remarkably fast.
For my size, I'm surprisingly quick. I just can't go far.
Well, to this day...
Because I'll run out of breath.
To this day, I tell everyone who meets Chris and I about how fucking fast he is. I don't I'm telling you, he should have been like a what is that track thing where like you just go forward and backward?
Oh, like a
shuttle
relay shuttle run.
I'm telling you, if Chris did shuttle run, he would be great. He would make it there faster than anybody.
The thing is, like, I can sprint, like, really, like, again, relatively,
like
because
10 feet.
I am a big lad, but I can sprint relatively quick for like 150 feet.
And then that's the end of that.
And then I gotta stop.
Alright, can we just talk about you dying for a second with the cookies at school?
Maybe not the whole thing.
No?
But essentially, yeah, I was carrying cookies and almost died in a parking lot.
Oh, shit. Yes, I felt bad. He was helping me carry cookies one time from a school fundraiser. And let's just say the day ended in me sprinting to his car to get his inhaler. Good times. Good times. How would I have explained that if you died?
If I just dropped dead, I'd be like, well, I would. You'd just be like, well, he just fucking up and died. I don't know what to tell you. He's just dead. I don't know.
I'm just like, yeah. Can I get my cookies, please?
Just kicking my body. Hey, stupid! Come get the cookies.
Oh fuck. Good times. What do you have next, Chris? What are we discussing?
What are we discussing? You have something else here that you wrote in our notes. The only other topic that we haven't discussed in our stories. The only one. There's only one there, Jordan.
Ah, yes, ladies and gentlemen.
There's only one there.
I wanted to ask Chris a very serious, very difficult question,
hard-hitting question,
just to see his reaction. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. Put a little echo effect. Biggest fear.
Do it on the mixer.
No way. I'm not gonna experiment with that.
Oh boy, no.
This is not a good time to take the effects on a first date. My biggest fear, fucking surprisingly, I hate the ocean.
Do you?
Terrified of the ocean.
Really?
Like, just deep water that I can't see the bottom of. And the worst part, it's not like I'm afraid of water. But there's like if I was in a pool that was like 30 feet deep, I wouldn't have an issue with. But the issue with the ocean and like bodies of water, natural water in general, is there's things in there. I don't like things in my water. You know, like I don't want to like be swimming and then like have just a giant fish run up and just bite my leg off.
Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah.
I remember I was at a summer camp once and I was doing waterboarding. Not like the torture, but like waterboarding. Wakeboarding, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Wakeboarding, not waterboarding. Waterboarding is torture. wakeboarding. And we were out in the middle of like this freshwater lake, beautiful lake. And we were there, and then all of a sudden, like I was just in the water, and then all of a sudden this fear hit me.
Okay.
Because I wasn't thinking about it at first, and all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And then I got back up on the boat, and I was like, yeah, we gotta get out of here. And I was like, the water's starting to freak me out.
You're like, listen, man, there's stuff down there.
Yeah, there's like things. I mean, it's a freshwater pond, so there's not really anything.
There's things though.
But there's things.
Dude,
like
a fucking snapping turtle. Can bite your
chode
off.
Snapping turtles too. Those things are scary.
Can bite your chode off, my dude.
I almost got by a snapping turtle.
You almost got by one?
Yeah, because I was at another campground and I was trying to fish and I stepped into the water and I saw something move and I got out of the water and probably about 2 feet in front of me was a snapping turtle, a big one.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's
snapping turtles are no joke.
Oh no, those bitches will take your fucking half your hand off.
Oh, yeah. Legit. They'll take you. They'll nip a finger off easy.
Oh yeah,
even little ones.
Oh yeah. I don't care for water myself. I'm a very much a land creature.
Yeah, exactly. Like the apes I descended from, I prefer life on land in the trees.
Yeah, Chris, in the trees.
Yeah, I can't climb.
I don't know my biggest fear, to be honest. I think if I had to be, if I didn't want to be so cliche as to say death, but I didn't want to be.
Well, that's boring. Get a better, worst fear, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be that cliche. So I'm going to have to say my biggest fear is loss. That's my biggest fear.
Like, damn, I missed my exit. I got no idea where I am. You're lost.
No. Like, I lost my car keys. Like, that's my biggest fear.
Oh, shit, that's scary.
No, actually, no.
And that's scary, dude.
My cat, dude. I want to lose him.
Oh.
That's what is fearful to me. Loss of family, friends. Like, think about it, boys and girls. Someday, there ain't going to be no Synapse Misfire.
One of these days, probably very soon, within the next 30 to 40 minutes, we will both be dead.
Oh, man. Wait, are you trying to tell me something?
That was a visual joke. I reached for my hip as if I had a gun. But I actually don't have it. He's got more gun than I do. Well, not legally speaking, but...
Correction, legally... If you didn't see last episode, I bought a firearm, but it's not mine yet.
Okay, yes, just to avoid any bullshit, the firearm was legally purchased by a licensed gun owner, which is going to be signed over to Jordan when he has his license and can be a licensed firearm owner.
Because it's taking forever to come in the goddamn mail.
Yeah, anyway. Because surprisingly, we're like one of the only nations where you can like freely have guns, and it's a pain in the ass to get them.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of dangerous, those things,
Sometimes, yeah.
A bit.
A little bit. Tell you anything else, Like my cat, he's dangerous.
Yeah, you could have him like a Pokemon.
I just have him in a bag.
Yeah.
From Walmart shopping
right. You
bag.
have him like in a little carrier or something. Someone comes to attack you, you throw the cat at him, and he goes, and fucking scratches up their face.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. My cat, honestly, I think the worst part, if my cat attacked someone, if I threw them at him. Well, if I threw them at him, he would dig in to hold himself up.
Oh, and he's heavy, too.
And he's a hefty boy. He's 17 pounds?
17 pounds?
17 or 18, yeah. He would just go like, get down their back. It'd be like those scenes in the old like action movies where they dive into a curtain with a knife and they're like going down a curtain. Oh, man.
See, I mean, I guess my cat's like probably close to 15 pounds, but he's a big cat.
Yeah.
Like for not being like a Maine Coon, he's a large cat.
Yeah, he's very long.
He's got big paws, too. He's big.
Yeah, he's a large boy. Yeah. Beyond cats eviscerating other people, fuck was I gonna say? Oh, I wanted to ask you something. I didn't write it in the notes, so this is a surprise.
Whoa, he's keeping me on my toes.
Hey, funny enough, it has to do with your toes.
My toes?
You see the new Cyberpunk 2077 Adidas shoes?
No.
I want to buy them, but I have a feeling they're going to be very expensive.
Well, yeah, but Cyberpunk.
They look cool. They're not like classy. They're just really cool.
The Cyberpunk shoes.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're actually pretty sick.
$150?
Is that what it says? That's not bad. I would have thought more. I thought they weren't for sale yet. I feel like that's someone...
limited edition shoes that are based on the Adidas X9000 Elf or i4 Boost model, which costs around $150.
Oh, so yeah, with the Cyberpunk branding, it'll probably be like $300.
The thing is, like, I just, like, if I buy them, I don't want to buy a pair of shoes that I'm not going to wear. I'm going to buy them and then just sit them on a shelf somewhere. I'll get them in my size, but, like, I'm probably going to wear them, like, twice.
Yeah.
And I can't wear them, like, you know, out in the yard.
No? You can't?
Out in the yard with the boys.
When he's farming out back.
Yeah. Farming.
We're not talking about Minecraft anymore?
Minecraft. Are you playing Minecraft? I like your cut, G.
Oh, it's like a EKG. Oh my god.
Fun fact. I mean, that bit I just did isn't gonna be in the episode because I just literally punched my mic. But I did that once with my blue Yeti. I punched the shit out of it and I scraped my pinky knuckle doing that on the metal grate of the mic.
My old blue Yeti that I had, I punched it once and I dented it in.
You dented your blue Yeti?
Yeah, the grill on top. I had a knuckle-sized dent in it.
Bruh.
Yeah, I sold that thing too, $75. I think.
Dang.
I think I sold it for $75. I believe.
I paid full price for mine. My blue Yeti. It was like $139 or $129 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a nice mic. It's alright. It's pretty good.
I still have mine. It's on my desk.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
I like it. I rate it. It's a good mic.
I rate it a mic out of 10. Yeah.
It is. It gets a. Yeah, this is a microphone out of 10.
Yes, sir.
Although, if you want bang for your buck, getting an audio interface and one of these mics that we have, these are like Shure fucking something or others. If you get those, they sound pretty good for what they cost. These mics were like $60 a piece.
Yeah, they cost not much and they sound really good.
And then you spend another $60 on an audio interface for XLR. You're in the money, you know?
Yeah, sounds really good. But why don't we move on to one of the first topics? It's a little bit old by now, but I still think this is interesting for, like, let's just say the new Apple MacBooks potentially, with NVIDIA purchasing ARM for $40 billion.
Wow.
What was that about?
$40 billion.
That's like a lot of billions.
That's NVIDIA. It just seems like very out of left field.
Yeah.
NVIDIA buying ARM.
Mhm.
It just feels. It's very out of left field.
Well, here's my thinking. You have Apple making the move for these ARM-based silicon chips or whatever for the next MacBooks and other Mac products. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, ARM must have a great deal with them. You know, like a lot of money because obviously they're paying ARM to do these things, right? Like to provide certain parts and...
Well, I don't know. The architecture, I think, is open sourced.
Really?
I'm not sure. Let me check that out.
Because if it is open source, then that's a whole different story. But if it's not open source, that makes me wonder what kind of deal they had that would maybe make NVIDIA purchase them for $40 billion. Yeah, $40 billion, a lot of money. I'm very curious to see what NVIDIA does with ARM of all properties, because we had just talked a couple episodes ago about how NVIDIA doesn't make CPUs, and now here they are buying a CPU architecture. So we're about to see the NVIDIA i5, baby.
Oh yeah, I believe ARM. I'm looking at it right this second, so forgive me if I say anything wrong, but I believe it is based on or is the RISC architecture, RISC. which is an open sourced architecture.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm wondering if Apple would still have to pay something for having an ARM-based CPU.
well, generally with open source stuff, you don't have to.
No.
But if NVIDIA owns that and then they close source it,
Now
they
you have
can't.
to.
So now we could see like Apple burying the hatchet with NVIDIA, which as of like macOS Catalina, you couldn't have, and it didn't support NVIDIA at all.
Yeah.
So we could see them bury the hatchet with NVIDIA and have, like a sort of like a NVIDIA X Apple sort of thing, where they had like with the a similar thing to what they had with HP in 2003, 2004 with the iPods.
Yeah.
They had the HP iPods.
Mm-hmm. That's some sort of crossover thing.
Yeah, so maybe they'll have
partnership.
like, well, we got our internals, most of our internals from NVIDIA,
You know them as a top-tier graphics card manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, that really doesn't mean anything about anything, but
it's there. It's slogans and mantra and fucking chatter.
exactly.
Now, what I wonder, too, is on the flip side, what if NVIDIA closed sources this software, or this architecture, and now Apple's kind of in a rock and a hard place where now they kind of have to pay big bucks to get all these Apple silicon chips made, or do they just stick with Intel, who they just shut out, or potentially do you get MacBooks with like Ryzen processors in them?
I don't know. The thing is like, it's obvious. It's very obvious that like, with a MacBook Pro or something, you're not gonna see an ARM-based CPU out of a MacBook Pro. Like, it's supposed to be a Pro machine.
Yeah.
Or like
I remember we had talked about that.
Or like the iMac Pro. I believe I'd phrased this pretty much the same way. That like, ARM is good for something like a MacBook Air, which is like a toy.
Yeah.
It's essentially
It's a laptop to be a laptop.
Again, I think to reiterate exactly what I said was, you get a MacBook Air to say you have a MacBook.
Yeah.
And I think ARM is very promising because it ARM and shit is in like phones, right? And they're very low power chips. In terms of consumption of power, like electricity.
Yeah.
But they're high enough power to be used in desktop applications in some fashion. Like, look at a lot of the I think some of the Surface devices are
ARM-based. Yeah, I think so as well. So
they have like the Surface Go, maybe, I'm not sure. But I know they made a version of Windows for ARM specifically for their devices that run on ARM. And I think it's really promising for maybe NVIDIA gonna start releasing like their like first party laptops and stuff, where it's like,
that's true. Like
this is the
laptop.
NVIDIA ARM book or something like that,
The ARM book, yeah, it's possible where they start doing that. Curious how this will affect Apple. Curious if they're, like you said, if they're just gonna put it in there.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is NVIDIA and Apple aren't on great terms, so
yeah.
I don't know.
It could go a lot of ways.
It's the one thing that the Linux guys and Apple really have in common is NVIDIA hates them.
Yeah.
Because I remember Linus, I think his name's pronounced Linus Torvalds, the guy who wrote the Linux kernel. He's like the Linux guy. Linux is named after him. It's Linus's Unix.
Yeah.
But essentially, he at an event said that NVIDIA was one of the worst companies he's ever worked with, and he said, "Fuck you, NVIDIA," and he put up a middle finger.
Really?
At the event. So, Apple's kind of the same way, but because they can't open source their drivers and stuff because a lot of it isn't their own software, is licensed from somewhere else, and obviously they would have to go to that company they licensed it from and be like, please, can it be open source? And then they're like, no, we made this and we're selling it to you. You're just a customer. You're not
Yeah.
Make your own fucking software.
Yeah, that's the way to put it. What was I gonna say? Shit, I just brain farted out of that.
You had a Synapse Misfire, possibly? A Synapse Misfire? Like the name of the show? Like the name of the podcast?
I fucking hate this guy. Oh, I know what I was gonna say, ladies and gentlemen. You had mentioned the Surface Books, and our next topic involves Microsoft, but I wanted to throw this into the midst because, as we all know, our best friend, buddy, old pal, Chris here, does not like foldables.
Okay, I know where you're going with this.
How do you feel about the Surface Duo, my lad?
Surface Duo? Again, I have seen pretty much zero coverage of it. I saw it in a few thumbnails, and I was like, or I saw it on Instagram a couple times too, and I was like, this is fucking, this is stupid. Because remember the last time Microsoft tried to make a phone, the Windows phones?
Well, luckily this one's Android OS, but yeah.
It is Android. Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. Because,
But yes, the Windows phones were garbage.
But I think that's, as much as, like, it's not that I diehard hate foldable things. It's just that I think it's, like, too gimmicky.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to be like, man, if you get a foldable phone, I don't want to talk to you anymore. No, it's just gimmicky. It's not really my thing. But as far as, like, the Surface tablets are pretty solid for what they are. Now, saying that I've worked with the Surface Pros at work, they're a pain in the ass because Windows, even in tablet mode, it's just not meant to be a touchscreen based operating system.
Yeah.
So it is a pain to work with, just a royal pain. Especially, like, for someone like us, it's not that big of a deal because we understand how to interface with technology and work around technology.
Yeah.
But, like, I work with a bunch of, like, old people or people who don't know anything about anything. So I have to teach them, be like, yes, now you click this, and for some reason it pops up a thing to write instead of a keyboard for some reason. So now you have to click the keyboard button, and then it'll switch to a keyboard, and there you go. And then you gotta get the little pen out, and you beep, boop, 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 and then you type in what you need, and then you hit enter, and then the keyboard should go away. But if it doesn't, there's a button for it.
Yeah.
Trying to explain that to someone who's like 60 is a pain.
Yeah, I can imagine. Surface Duo looks pretty cool. It has.
Yeah, we were talking about that, weren't we?
It has some benefits, I guess you could say, over like your average foldable we see, but it also has some drawbacks. First drawback, it's been in development for like a year and a half, so it has like a year and a half old spec. Like old Snapdragon, smaller RAM, smaller battery.
I think, well, I mean, at the end of the day, the battery situation on foldable phones has to be really interesting anyway.
It's usually 2 batteries split between
That's what I was
halves.
thinking. It has to be like 2 batteries or just like a small battery.
Yeah. It's usually like on the Galaxy Fold 2
and
batteries.
I'm thinking in the case of like the Z Flip would definitely have to be 2 batteries because of the way it flips.
Yeah.
It would be too small of a battery for a phone like that.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool. I see what they're going for with it. It's very wide when it's folded shut. It's like a very wide phone. It's like add an inch to your phone. It's very rectangular. Compared to, well, I say that, but phones are rectangular. It's more square, I guess, then. Sticks out very far. But, of the foldables, I'd say it's kind of the least interesting for me. It can fold backwards. That's cool. Because the 2 displays are actually separate displays. It's not one flexible display.
Well, I mean, from my point of view, I think it's the most interesting foldable.
Why is that?
Because I really like seeing big companies fail.
Okay.
And it's what is it called? It's a German word. Schadenfreude. It's like you take pleasure in others' misfortunes.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to see Microsoft trip and fall on its face. Or if they don't, that's even more interesting. Because I'm like, a redemption arc is more interesting than anything.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't like this. It's a Microsoft thing. I don't want it. And then, maybe it ends up being really good. I don't know. I'm not gonna buy one.
Yeah, no.
When this inevitably does fail, because it probably will, I'll buy one used in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and I did around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
I've already had a Windows Phone video in the bank for about a year now.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't filmed one, but like I've just had it as an idea, and I was like, I just couldn't be bothered to find a Windows Phone.
Makes sense.
But that may or may not show up as a video at some point, a Windows Phone video.
Well, funny enough, we were talking about the foldable, and obviously Microsoft owning Xbox. They a lot of people think that foldable phones work.
Foldable Xbox.
work best for Game Pass on mobile. So like the Samsung phones now have Game
Pass. I can buy that.
So a lot of people are like, oh, if you take the Z Fold 2 or whatever,
unfold you unfold it. It's like a tablet because like.
So that's kind of cool.
That I can see. Because my phone is, I think it's a 6-inch display on my Note 9. So. And it's a big phone. Obviously, like I've heard people with like small hands complain about it because it's a big phone. I mean, I have big gorilla hands, so I don't care.
6.4 inch.
6.4 inch display. And that's a decent sized display to have in your pocket, but if you're playing a video game, which is meant to be played on a much larger display, there you go. I think that's probably, not that it's a use case for me, but that's like the only real use case I can see for
a foldable.
Where a foldable phone is gonna do you better.
Yeah.
Because then to get it foldable, you have to like have a weird aspect ratio and stuff. So like then video isn't really gonna be an option, or if it is, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah. But, once again, like you said about big companies falling on their face, you have NVIDIA purchasing ARM for $40 billion. You have Microsoft purchasing Zenimax and Bethesda for $7.5 billion.
Bethesda. That's interesting.
Insane.
Just because, that's another deal that I think is really out of left field.
Yeah.
That I didn't really see coming.
Oh, no way.
And this kind of almost brings me into a theory, but it's pretty much unrelated, so I'll bring it up later. But this was a deal that was really out of left field for me, I think, but the thing with Bethesda is a lot of their first-party games lately, like stuff that they develop and publish, has been trash.
Absolute trash.
Fallout 76. Fallout 4 even was iffy.
Yeah, a lot of fans of Fallout didn't care for 4.
I liked Fallout 4. I played the shit out of it. But I'm not a diehard Fallout fan.
As well.
Diehard Fallout fans didn't like it.
No.
But they publish a lot of really good stuff, like Doom and like Dishonored, Wolfenstein, and those games were really good.
Yeah.
Those games were really good. So, granted, I play PC, so that doesn't matter to me, because they're gonna show up on PC anyway, one way or another.
Yeah.
So, I don't really care. I'm not going to be forced into buying an Xbox. Again, like I said in one of the previous episodes, I'm not sure which, but the only way I'm forced into buying an Xbox is if they do another Cyberpunk one. Then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm buying one.
The thing about the Xbox and Microsoft buying Bethesda is a lot of people are wondering, like, so far, Microsoft has said exclusivity. So Deathloop, the game we had talked about a couple episodes back, and some other game I can't remember off the top of my head, are going to remain exclusive to PS5. They're going to honor that deal.
Oh, really?
But they said going forward,
probably because they can't get out of it.
Exactly. They're trying to play it off like those are good guys, but deals like that, they
probably can't get out of.
Yeah, are going forward will be platform by platform, so they'll decide game by game.
My thing is that this is because Bethesda's like, it's a very well-known developer. My thing is that, like, where are they going to publish these games? Like if I was going to buy them on PC, would it only be through the Microsoft Store?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing, is like if they want to do platform by platform, because Sea of Thieves is a first-party Microsoft game. And that ended up on Steam after a while.
Yeah.
So are we going to see something like that where it's fragmented, where we see a release for like a year on the Microsoft Store and then on Steam?
Well, it's like the Outer Worlds from Obsidian. Microsoft owns Obsidian as a first-party developer, and they made the Outer Worlds. It came to Steam like a year later. Yeah. After being on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, I do remember that because I was like, that didn't click with me at first because and I said, oh yeah, Epic Games. I bought it on the Epic Game Store because I had like a 50% off coupon or some shit.
Yeah.
So I bought it on that, and I played like 4 hours of it, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick this up again, and I never did.
Yeah, same. People are also questioning, we have Bethesda, the, I guess, current devs of Fallout, and then you have Obsidian, under Microsoft as well, who were the developers of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
So they're like, I wonder what this could mean if, like, now we're going to get a New Vegas 2 with
New Vegas 2, baby!
That'd be pretty sick. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if Fallout as a series can continue, because it is inherently an interesting concept. I like it as a game,
mm-hmm.
And I like the vibe that it creates. It's just that like it has such a bad rep now with
Fallout 4 and
Fallout 4 and 76. Because like I just do people still play Fallout 76? Did anyone play it in the first place?
I think they do have like a small group of people that actually play it.
No shit.
I know they've updated it a lot and they've added like NPCs. Imagine that. Imagine updating your game to add NPCs. But anyway, yeah, they added NPCs. They added like storylines. They actually just had an expansion, I think, come out.
No shit. All 6 players are probably really excited for that. I remember they had a controversy a while ago where they
the bag.
Oh, the bag thing, that was one part of it, because they made no money off pre-orders. But they had like that controversy where one of the only players who actually played the game, he had like 900 ammo or 900 of a specific type of ammo, and they banned him because they thought he was cheating because he played the game legit. He played the game too much. And was so far ahead of the other players that they banned him because they thought he was cheating.
Jesus.
I think they got him back. I'm not sure.
I would think so, yeah.
But if that was the case, if like I was playing this game and I'm like, I'm actually kind of enjoying this, and all of a sudden I got banned because they thought I was cheating because I actually played the game, I'd be pissed. I would be livid.
I'd be absolutely pissed. Absolutely, dude.
I would be like, I would just be like, I'm done with this game. I don't care if they give me my account back. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know how you can go into your Steam library and just delete
permanently
the game.
Erase it.
Yeah, which I don't understand why you would do that, because like you pay for the game. I've done it with free games.
Yeah,
but like with games you paid for, if you're just like, I just want to purge this from my account. I don't want this game that I paid for.
I mean, I guess it's good that the option's there, but I don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm big into options. I agree that I like the fact that I have the option to do so. I just don't understand why I would do so.
I'm sure someone out there has done it for a very valid reason. I just can't think of one.
Yeah, if you've done that, let us know.
You ever just purged your Steam account or purged a game off of your Steam account? Let us know.
Yeah, if you're like, damn, man, my buddy bought me some hentai game, and I really don't want that.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like...
That's possible.
My parents show up, and I'm like, fuck, what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
Get rid of the hentai. There you go.
Yeah, because, you know...
Hentai Titty Party 4.
Your buddy buys you hentai games, and, I've been there. I definitely didn't buy them myself.
No.
Your buddy buys you...
buy them for each other.
Your buddy buys you a hentai game, There's a lot of that shit on Steam.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we just talk about, like, those dumbass sets games on Steam? That shit pisses me off.
There's a lot of like.
I dare you to open the Steam VR category.
Titties on Steam.
Open up the Steam VR
and
category.
I love anime titties as much as the next guy, but I just want to buy games, man. I want to browse what's new. I want
new games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want something that's gonna be fun, something that's gonna be titillating. I don't want big titties. I want to keep my video games and my anime titties separate.
Yeah.
Right, with very minimal crossover.
Very minimal.
Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes I'm like, dang. But other times, most of the time, I'm like, I just want to play the fucking video game.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, honestly, go to, like, the VR section on Steam, and it's just like Set Simulator VR, and it's like, bro, what is this?
What is this? I just wanna buy Beach Saber, dude. I don't know what the fuck this is.
I just want to pre-purchase The Walking Dead, man.
I just want to buy fun zombie game. Shoot zombie, boom boom, zombie dead.
Yeah, that shit's freaking, I don't know. That shit's ridiculous with Steam. But, I mean, a lot of people also suspect with the whole Bethesda thing that this is kind of like an indirect threat to Sony with their first-party titles, because Sony's, all about that God of War.
Oh,
Horizon.
So they decided to get a developer that can actually make good games to do first-party titles for them.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's like
that's their response to like Naughty Dog.
Yeah. Well, imagine, you have the PS5 and people are like, yeah, you have Uncharted 5, you have this, you have that, and it's all the PlayStation first party games. So a lot of your PlayStation fans are going to go there. But now you have someone who's just kind of on the fence, like, yeah, the PlayStation games look good, but what does Xbox have? And then Xbox goes, yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 is
But here's
Xbox
the thing
exclusive.
now. Here's the thing now is when things like that, Microsoft, they're fucking Microsoft, so they're going to try to maximize their profit. So they're going to put the game on their own store. So most people, like a lot of people, it's not like it used to be, 6-7 years ago. Like a lot of people I know have gaming PCs.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like we talked about, it's like the biggest market.
It's like a crazy big market now.
Yeah.
Like, I know guys who have no fucking idea about anything. Because I work in IT, so everyone's like, oh, computer guy, he knows computer. Right? They asked me about their gaming PCs. I'm like, I didn't peg you as a gaming PC guy. Because it's sort of like niche. Like, you kind of have to know a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this guy really doesn't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
But he's got a gaming PC. Like, there's no... like, Windows is it's not very picky. You don't have to maintain it that much.
Well, Windows?
Yeah, but you do have to maintain it. You have to manually update your video graphics card drivers, things like that.
Yeah, it doesn't just appear.
You have to, but, it's not like a Linux, but, like, you still have to maintain it in some fashion, and I just feel like there's a lot of people who are buying into gaming PCs who don't know how to manage them properly.
Yeah, that's
because it's not true. It's not like a console.
Not at all, no.
Unless some people treat it like a console, where they just install their games and they just install their games and they do their thing with their games, and that's fine. That's fine too.
If it works for you, it works for you.
That's the thing that I just in recent, as getting to be a young old man like I am, a cranky old man. No, mellowing out, being an old man. Understanding things. I'm fucking 19. I don't know. No, getting older, I just feel like I just don't understand that whole console versus PC war thing.
No.
Because I'm like, just play games. Whatever you want to play games on, whatever you feel is the best platform.
Whatever you have the availability
Exactly.
Well.
Like, whatever you think is the best platform to play games on, play games on. As long as you're having fun. I don't care what you play your games on.
You want the truth? For some people, maybe a $1,700 gaming PC doesn't work. Maybe the $300 Series S is what works for them.
Exactly. It's like you got to consider is like, well, why don't you play on PC? It's so much better. It's like, well, I can't afford.
That's like getting passed on the highway by a Camaro.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy's like, well, why don't you just buy a Camaro? And you're like, oh, well, maybe it's because the Corolla works better for me.
Exactly.
Like, it's the car that I need.
And the Corolla will last longer.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The thing will fucking go forever.
Definitely.
It's the same idea. It's like, why don't you have a 400 horsepower V8 in your car? It's like, well, I couldn't fucking afford it. Yeah. I needed this car for practical reasons.
Yeah.
Well, with that situation, it's like, I need this or I want this to play video games. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
I can't afford a $1,500 PC. Because let's be honest, if I wasn't already grandfathered in on the PC platform, I wouldn't bother at this point.
Honestly, joining the PC side is one of the biggest mistakes, but also one of the best things you can do.
Oh, it's a money sink for sure.
Yeah.
But
very big money sink.
I love it.
I love it as well.
That's the thing, but I think if you just want to play video games and you're like, man, I'm considering getting a new console, but I'm also considering getting a PC, just get the new console, honestly. More of your friends are probably going to have the console.
Much easier to use.
Much easier to use.
Power it
And
on, play some games.
to get something that's probably equivalent to the Series X, which is what, $500. To get something that's equivalent to that in the PC side, you're looking at like at least $1,200, $1,500.
Yeah.
And something that's gonna run at that level because they squeeze every ounce of performance out of that hardware.
Yeah. You also don't really have to deal with like bad optimization.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You deal with much less BS with a console.
Which, did you actually know the Series S, I think, and the Series S, I'm not sure if they both have that memory card expansion slot. You see the price for the expansion card?
No, I didn't.
1 terabyte is $219.
What?
Yeah. For the 1 terabyte expansion card.
That better be a damn good SSD.
It's supposed to be.
Like, I'm just thinking because
I have a 1 terabyte M2 NVMe. That was $100.
Yeah, mine was 120.
Yeah.
Granted, this is my second one because the first one failed.
It failed?
Yeah, the first one died on me.
Damn.
But I think it was a heat issue because it was sat underneath my graphics card.
Ah.
But now, it's in my PC, not underneath the graphics card, with a heatsink on it. And there hasn't been any issues since.
Okay.
So.
I see. But yeah, that's that. I was thinking to myself, like, that's a big investment for someone, especially because a lot of people who buy consoles are those ease of use people that just want this console that plays games. That's it.
Yeah.
Now you have a $220 expansion card. That's insane.
Yeah, that's true. And it's almost a necessity with the all digital one.
Yeah, because you only get 512 gigs.
You only have, okay, you get half a terabyte, and then, so you might as well, at that point, you might as well not even buy the digital one. You just get the better one, because you're going to end up spending the same amount of money in storage.
Yeah.
Granted, you get another half terabyte if you buy the 1 terabyte and the Series S, so you get 1.5 terabytes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you get the 1 terabyte with the X, and you get
the better
much better performance.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think if you're gonna do that, and you want to go mostly digital, just get the Series X.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a weird one. It's a weird balance because that's a hefty price tag for.
It's definitely
memory expansion.
Because it's not like, it's not back in the day you get your PS2 memory card.
Yeah. Oh, like my PS4. Like I know I still have a hard drive in there, but I could pull out the hard drive. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive in there for $100.
And that's the thing is I want to see more of that, where I like the idea
of this crazy custom
storage.
Yeah.
This thing that loads your Spider-Man, loads PS4 Spider-Man in half a second.
I think it was 0.18 seconds was the load time.
So, less than half a second. That's crazy. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
But if it's going to come at such a deficit, such a cost for, the other users, for users of this console. Yeah. Now they're going to be like, well, we need a new memory card because I have my digital games now. Oh, what's a new one cost? $220.
Yeah.
That's
a lot
ridiculous. Of money. I would want to see something where they have like their own, because obviously they have their own interface for it, right? They have their own.
I'm assuming, it's its own jack.
You just slot it in. It's got its own pin-out interface thing. I would like to see an option where they just sell that as a caddy, and you can put your own drive in it. Put like a 2.5-inch expansion. Put like an NVMe drive or something.
Yeah.
So you can get your own drive.
Yeah, an M2 socket with a plug on it for that.
Yeah. Or something that'll adapt out to a 2.5-inch SSD.
Yeah.
Or a 2.5-inch hard drive even.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say I totally predicted this when we first heard about the Series X, and I brought it up on the show about their proprietary memory jack.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the first things I said was I can't wait to see the price of these proprietary memory sticks, because it's not like buying your WD Blue 2 terabyte drive. It's a proprietary direct from Microsoft. Like I don't think anyone's gonna be able to make third-party drives that you can buy. Definitely not.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of China.
That's true, but I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't think.
Well, I didn't say it was. I'm just saying that it will probably exist. Knockoffs will definitely exist as soon as that thing hits the market.
I want to agree, but we had a similar situation with the original Rift, where the jack on the headset is proprietary, and now you just can't find anything. No Chinesium ones were made.
Really?
Oculus can't make them anymore because they lost the rights to the jack, and the company that used to make it went under. So, like, there's no third-party Oculus CV1 cables.
Really?
Because it was a proprietary jack. That's the only reason. Because on the other end, it was an HDMI and a USB 3.1.
Huh.
So that's why I'm saying it's harder than you think, because especially with something like that, the T2 chip on the Apple SSDs.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft has to have something in there that's validating
that's true.
this as
some sort of like DRM.
There's gotta be something, and there's no way that it's just like as simple as plugging in a freaking SSD.
Well, think about it. If HP can build that into their ink cartridges, Microsoft can build that into their storage.
Yeah. That's true. I forgot HP does it. Yeah, I have an HP printer, and when you put, non-genuine ink, it's like,
yeah, they yell at you. Every time I do that, they're like, genuine HP installed. I'm like, yeah, I know. It has your name plastered all over the box.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only a matter of time before they do the same thing with paper. Because when the printer's out of paper, it goes, well, you need paper. We recommend the HP Color Lock paper for your printer. Like, no, I don't want your paper.
I just want copy paper, dude.
I just want standard paper. I'm standard paper. I don't want your paper.
But, yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. That's very pricey for a memory upgrade.
Yeah. Well, it depends if that storage slot is going to be gimped, like, because it's a secondary storage slot. If it's going to have less bandwidth, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's more you have to interface through. Like, you have to go through their connector and then to the storage.
Instead of directly
to the storage. I'm sure there's some brains in the storage, but, like, I don't know. I don't know if that port that's going to be attached to is going to be throttled in some way.
Yeah.
Because it is meant to be secondary.
Yeah, well, it's like buying an external hard drive where you're interfacing through USB 3.0.
Yeah, and you're throttled by USB speeds.
Yeah, instead of a direct SATA connection.
Whereas, I mean, and now with things like this, storage upgrades and whatnot, consoles are becoming more like PCs. Well, now, because storage management is kind of a nuanced thing. Like, a lot of people have, you have multiple drives in your computer.
Yeah.
And now you have to balance what goes on what drive.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of think about and plan out what you want to put on each drive.
Yeah.
So now you have to think about, maybe this drive is gimped because it's on a secondary port. What do I want to put on it? Well, all my storage is there. I have 0.5 terabyte built into the console, but I have 1 terabyte in extra storage. But it's gimped. What do I want to put on there?
Yeah. Well, it's at my PC where I have most of my VR games on the NVMe boot drive just because my other secondary drive is a hard drive until I upgrade to solid state. So, like, Cyberpunk, that's going to take place on my NVMe unless I have an SSD by then. But,
well, yeah, my storage solution is incredibly complicated.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, because I have my 1 terabyte SSD, my 1 terabyte NVMe, which occupies 1 NVMe slot on my motherboard, and houses my main operating system. That holds Arch Linux. Then, on my second NVMe slot, I have a 250 gig SSD.
Houses Windows 10?
With Windows 10 on it.
Yep.
And Arch Linux will talk to the Windows 10 drive. Windows 10 won't talk to the Arch Linux drives.
Really?
And
That's kind of funny.
Right? Now, because I built NTFS support into my Arch build. So, essentially, I now have my Linux drives, which are ext4, different file system, which has my NVMe and my 10 terabyte drive. Those will only talk to my Linux machine. Then I have my 250 gig drive, and I have a 4 terabyte hard drive from when I was on Windows before that I just never reformatted. So that's my shared drive between the two.
Yeah.
Because I got to put my games somewhere.
Yeah, that way it goes back and forth.
So it's a very overcomplicated solution.
Obviously, that's not what it's going to be like on these consoles, but it's
no,
the same,
but I'm just saying, like, how far does the rabbit hole go?
Yeah.
You know, it may not be the case this generation, but go a generation down or 2 generations down, and what do you see? The consoles are going to go with the market. You know, if the PC market is still as good as it is in 7 years, 15 years, you know, consoles usually release every 7.
7-ish years, yeah.
So 7 years, 14 years. If they're in the same, Jesus Christ, 14 years, 2 console gens, Jesus.
That's, yeah.
But, you know, if the market is still the way it is, where PC is, like, kind of at the top, PC is, like, a big up-and-coming platform, everyone's switching to PC, everyone wants to be on PC, you know, and they see, well, why don't we just make this a PC? And Microsoft, obviously, they own Windows, so let's just put Windows on this. Why don't we just do this? But now it's a PC. Congratulations.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to make, like, other options, like a 512, one of these proprietary storage expansions, or if it's just capped at 1 terabyte.
I'm sure they'll see more. I don't think it's going to be capped. I think there's definitely going to be options. There might be like a 512, a 1 terabyte, and a 2 terabyte or something like that. Because I think, honestly, the minimum storage you should have on a gaming machine is 1 terabyte.
Yeah. Absolute minimum.
Like, optimal, it depends on what you use it for. Obviously, do I need 15 terabytes of storage on my computer? No. Do I have it? Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, that's also a PC versus a console, too. You get other things there where you have more on there and you do more on there.
Well, yeah, like my 10 terabyte drive has a lot of media on it. Like, I just have a shitload of YouTube stuff downloaded on there.
Yeah.
Like, I have YouTube, I have, like, movies, you know, I have games. I have a ton of stuff on there. So.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I think that's definitely a big price tag, though. And I have a feeling there's going to be some backlash to that.
Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends on what the console people feel.
Yeah, honestly, I guess. Yeah, that is kind of how it goes. We'll see how they react to the whole situation.
You know, all I can say is, welcome to the club.
Oh, yeah. At least you're not upgrading every 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
On that incredibly somber note, I think we're going to round out the episode for today.
Incredibly somber. Couldn't be more so.
If you want to email us, you can shoot us your comments, questions, concerns, or death threats to synapsemisfire@pm.me. You can check out our RSS feed in the description. Import it into your favorite podcasting app, wherever you consume the most podcasts.
And most excitingly,
I'm still really jazzed about this.
Still really jazzed.
You can click the link, and we're on Spotify now.
Yes, sir.
A real platform. We're on Spotify.
Yep, we're on Spotify. Give us a follow down there.
Give us a follow. If you want to start a podcast, it takes about 20 seconds to get on Spotify.
Literally.
So go for it. You know.
Yeah.
So that being said, is there anything else you want to
add?
All right. See you later. All right, couldn't have said it better myself. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Okay, bye. Leave my house.